Shez is back. If you're watching, you probably know who I am. So, welcome back. Today I'm going to road test a foundation. Now, before I do that, I'll tell you that I have very dry skin. I used to have an oily T-zone, but that went away a few years ago. Probably just before I turned 50, it seemed to vanish. And I do use prescription Retin A. So if the foundation I try out gets, you see skin flakes or a lizard skin texture, that's because I'm on day like 3, 4, 5 after my Retin A application. This is prescription Retin A, not retinol or anything like that over the counter. It's the real deal, and I use the strongest strength. I will do a video about that. It's actually in my to-dos for this coming week. So if you see that, don't blame the foundation. I have exfoliated very well this morning. So if you see scaliness or anything, I'll point it out because I don't have a lot of texture on my face. I've been a skincare freak since I was very young, except for sunscreen. And so I don't have a lot of lumpy texture. Only really down here on the sides of my neck. The rest of it is just really wrinkles. I have some, I wouldn't call enlarged, they're just average pores here and across my nose, pretty much like everyone else does. Everyone has pores. So what I'm trying out today, Sephora have these $25 purchase perks that they send out, I think, to all VIBs and Rouge. I'm Rouge, I've been Rouge since it came out, of course. So they, like every second day, they send you an email, get a deluxe sample with a $25 purchase of something new that's launching, obviously something that's being promoted. And just recently I saw the Marc Jacobs Shameless, oh God, I always go the wrong way, Shameless foundation. Now, I have a different Marc Jacobs foundation, which I actually really like. It's one of the few fairly full coverage foundations I like for my mature skin. And it works well for me. My preparation is I've put on my morning skincare routine, which I'll also do in another video later this week when I talk about Retin A probably, or make that a separate video. And I have primed my skin as I normally do with either an oil, and today it was the Derma E Radiant Oil. This is 19 bucks on Ulta. It's a big bottle, and it has this beautiful ultra-fine mica in it, so it gives you a little bit of radiance, as well as jojoba, argan and sea buckthorn oil, which are just lovely oils for your skin. You can use an oil as a primer. You can add a drop of oil to your foundation if you need hydration. Even if you have oily skin, you can have oily skin and it still be dehydrated. The best remedy for that is using lots of hyaluronic acid and drinking lots of water. That's really the only way to get around that. Sometimes you still can't even really get around it, you just have dehydrated skin. So just load it up with moisture and deal with your oiliness in other ways like glycolic, AHAs, BHAs, that kind of thing. But anyway, my preparation is just my normal morning skincare routine, and then I actually just put a couple little drops, warm it up in my hands, pat it on my face. That's usually what I use for primer when I'm looking at what is called a full coverage primer. And this one does say, youthful look, 24-hour foundation, never apologize for being youthful. Or hell no, we're not going to, but whether this makes me look youthful or not is an entirely different story. So me trying out this foundation all it'll really do is give you my take on it. And I will put a note at the end of the video, or try and come back and just film a later tonight thing to show you how it wore, or I mean, I might hate it so much I'll take it straight off. But me doing it isn't a whole lot of help to you because your skin will be different to mine. You may not use Retin-A, you may not have dry skin, you might have combination skin or oily skin. This foundation may or may not suit me, it may or may not suit you. It's all we can really do as content creators is give you information. So I can give you information as I go along as to what I think of it, and how it's working for me. So if you're more mature in your mid-50s like I am, and you have rosacea and broken capillaries as I do, my rosacea is actually not too bad. It's more broken capillaries, you can see there, and I'm having IPL facials done soon to try and calm that down. I had it done once before and it worked very, very well, but that was like 12 or 13 years ago, and they come back. So all I can really do is give you my views. It's not, I can't tell you whether it's a good foundation or not because I don't know what your skin is. So a foundation review to me is always, you gotta just take what information you can and make your own decision about it, really. So with that, I'm gonna have a quick sip of water. Stay hydrated, best thing for your skin ever. I'm going to, and my beef with these is that I can probably only get one wear out of this unless it's covers very well, because I really wanted to do two when my skin wasn't in lizard skin mode. So I use everything very hygienically because I have a suppressed immune system from my disease, lucky me. And I go and buy things like this in either glass or very smooth acrylic. I like this one because it's got separation, so I can put in a cream concealer if I want and a foundation and keep dipping into them hygienically. I never let my fingers touch the top of a container. I always like squirt it out into something, whether it's a pump or a squeezy tube or whatever. So that's just a good way to, and then usually use a brush to dot it on, something like, I mean, it doesn't matter, any old concealer brush or brush. This is just the Sigma Precision Tapered P86. I just happen to have two of these, so I generally reach for this. So I'm just going to pop what I would consider 2 pumps. If it was, you know, a regular concealer with a pump. Oh, the other thing is, if I don't prep with oil, I have found that I've been liking the Smashbox Hydrating Primerizer. That runs a little bit expensive, and it's not even a huge bottle, but a little bit does go a long way, and it is very hydrating. If on days where I don't feel I need the oil base, when it's not lizard skin day. Another thing it is really good for, when you put sunscreen on, which you should every day, even if you're not on Retin-A, just please wear sunscreen. This can also, you know how sunscreen can get that white cast, or it can not play nice with your foundation or your skincare sometimes? This can actually help it play nice. I've actually found this really useful in both hydration and making foundation play nice with sunscreens. If I'm using a tinted moisturizer, I don't need that, but anyway. So now I'm gonna take this and dot it on my face. Okay, I stopped the video there, and it's now the next day. And I stopped the video right there because everything that followed was an absolute disaster. And it was a complete waste of your time to have to watch it. So now it's the next day. My skin is in much better condition. I re-exfoliated it very heavily last night. I moisturized the hell out of it. I used a sheet mask last night and this morning, and again moisturized the hell out of it, and it's actually back to how it just normally is. Now, tiny bit on the dry side, but that's pretty normal in winter. I can never get it just fully moisturized and plump and lovely. So that foundation, it may be possibly the worst foundation I've ever tried, and that's saying something. I have it on again now. I have used up the entire deluxe sample tube that I got from Sephora as a gift with purchase, and I have tried it with several different primers. I've tried adding oil to a drop of oil to the foundation and putting it on. My face is starting to get annoyed. My rosacea is starting to play up because I have tried this foundation in so many ways, and it couldn't look worse if I slapped it on in the dark and it was 10 years old and separated and nasty. It's awful. There's just, for something that claims to be youthful, this is the best attempt of 4. And I'm just going to come up a bit closer and show you, see if you can see. You see, it's given me texture where I don't even have any. And look at the side of my nose. And in the middle of my forehead. It moves. It's almost like a plasticky, liquid plasticky kind of thing. And I'll also say there's no way you can possibly put a cream product over this because it moves. The minute you touch it, it kind of, and this is even powdered down. I had to powder it down to stop it moving without, I mean, it's like I wasn't even touching it and it was moving. It was just curing on my skin into something weird. Marc Jacobs, I'm so disappointed. For something that claims to be youthful, you really missed the mark on this. I've tried it just over bare moisturizer. I've tried it over several primers. I tried it over oil. It's just, nothing is working. This is just awful. It's not even giving fair coverage. It's blotchy, and it does dive into pores. It might not run straight into lines on your face, but it certainly dives into pores big time. And I powdered it down. The last attempt I just powdered it down to see if that would make it look any better. My Laura Geller apricot powder, this will fix almost anything, seriously. I love this. It's a great shade for my face. It doesn't come out apricot on your face, but it's a great shade for brightening, and it will fix a lot of wrongs with foundation or concealer and stuff, because it's so finely milled. It's baked, but then so finely milled. Even that couldn't help it. It's what I've got on now, and it still looks dreadful. It looked worse before I even put that on. And this was just my last attempt, and I'm giving up. I was so hoping for big things for this, but it's a big pass for me. So what I'm going to do is just go off camera and do my eyes and come back, just so that it's not a total fail and you can take a look at that. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I'm back. I've done my eye look. This is a smoky eye using the Real Her palette from FabFitFun in the last box, the one I reviewed just recently, and lipstick by Wonder Beauty. I don't have false eyelashes on, it's just the e.l.f. Volume Plumping Mascara. It's $3. Good stuff. And I did my eyebrows and everything. Now what I found with the foundation is, while I was doing the eye look, it got worse. It really did. I'm going to come in for a bit of a close-up in a minute, and you can see that it got worse. And because I always bring my foundation very close around my eyes so that my eyes look like a whole part of my face, and they're not, I don't highlight with a whole bunch of concealer or anything like that. It just looks cakey and not good on me anyway as an older person. some of you might be fine and have a whole lot less wrinkles and saggy and crinkliness. I found that the foundation, when I was blending out the eyeshadow, it was flicking into the foundation and sticking there, like sticking to it. Like I couldn't even get it off using a halo to like try and rub it off. I actually had to scratch my skin with a fingernail to get these flecks of eyeshadow that were out there just from blending. This eyeshadow that I used was the Real Her palette, and you can see the tutorial. It'll either be up already or in a day or so. And it has very little fallout, but any fallout it had from blending or anything just stuck under here and down the sides, and I really had to scrape it away to get my eyes to even look even. That's how much this foundation is awful. Now I'm going to come in a bit closer. Come in a bit closer, baby. Can you see how awful this looks? I don't use any filters on my cameras or in editing ever. What you see is what you get. And it's nasty. This is a nasty foundation. I couldn't possibly recommend this foundation to anyone unless they had perfect skin. And even then, I think they might have a bit of trouble working with it. This new Shameless one that's supposed to be youthful, nah. Big fail. Fail. So, that's my take on it. You make up your own mind. Go in the store and ask for a sample and just like, one day while you're home, try it somewhere on your face, like swipe it up. They probably won't give you enough for a full face if you ask for a sample, but if you want to try it, do that and see if you like it. I'd be surprised if you do. If you do happen to like this foundation and you've tried it, let me know in the comments. So I'm out of here now, and thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave any comments, especially if you have tried it and what do you think. And hit the subscribe and the bell so that you know when I upload, because as you know, my body dictates when I can do things, so my upload schedule is erratic. Thanks again. Bye. Not doing anything weird this time.